What's going on, everybody? What are you guys into? Everybody's doing well. Welcome to another Wired for Crappie Live, guys and gals. I'm looking forward to tonight. We're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, winter crappie fishing. I love winter crappie fishing. I'll tell you why. Because you just don't see a whole lot of people when it's 25 degrees. Right? Right. So we're going to talk about some good stuff tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a good week since last week. I'm glad to be back. I'm extremely tired again, but, you know, hey, I don't think I'm ever going to get caught up on that. So, long week, busy week on my side. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Hope everything, like I said, was good with you this week. And welcome back, guys. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to a lot of different things tonight. Like I said, we've got a lot to talk about, mostly winter crappie fishing. We're going to talk mostly winter crappie fishing tonight, guys. I'm looking forward to I guess, kind of breaking down how I approach winter crappie fishing from fall all the way into the end of winter, okay, till it starts warming back up. So we're going to kind of talk our way through the entire winter season, if you will, fall into winter. Don't forget, when you get on, tell me, drop me a comment, tell me hello. I always like to see, let me know where you're from. All right. Let me know where you're from, where you're coming, where you're tuning in from tonight. I always like to see how far we're reaching with the Wired fam. So please, please, please. And I want to loosen those fingers up. I want to loosen your fingers up, guys, so that you guys know how to comment. You know how to ask questions. That way, when you're commenting and asking questions, I can get those answered for you. And it just makes the show that much more enjoyable to have a good comment feed or a good comment section over there. So loosen them fingers up tonight. All right, loosen them up. Ask me some questions. Hit me with, try to stump old Wired tonight. Ask me some questions if you guys would. And we're going to have a good show. Okay, so let me get through some hellos real quick. Let's say some hellos to you guys. 922 Crappie BQ. Hey, all, how the fishing? It's going well. Fishing's going good. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, welcome. Paul from Chattanooga. Hello, Paul. I got invited to a Chattanooga Crappie Club tournament today, which I regretfully will not be participating in, but that's because I have some guide trips. So I won't be participating in that. Josh Sanders, good evening from California. Got a few minutes before dinner. Hope everyone is doing well. What's up, Josh from California? We're reaching all the way over to the other ocean, right? So welcome, Josh. Glad you're with us, even though you're in Cali. I don't know why you're out there, but you come back soon. Don't stay too long. You're not moving to California on us, are you? There crappie out there? You fish any? Dave D, hello, hello. Lake Hartwell is where Dave is from, guys. Ohio, 922 Crappie BQs from Ohio. Ronnie Harris from Georgia. What's going on? Terry Gear from Middle Tennessee. What's up, Terry? Jimmy Pratt. What's up, Jimmy? What's going on, man? Let's see. Amy Nelson from West Kentucky. Heidi Clark. Hi from Idaho. How is Laura? Are you a daddy yet? Laura is doing well, Heidi. Laura's still doing good. Everybody's doing good. Thank you for asking. Heidi always asks every week how Laura's doing. So I appreciate Heidi very much. Thank you, Heidi, for always keeping Miss Wired in your thoughts and in your prayers and your mind. I just want to say thank you to everybody for that. So thank you, Heidi, for the question. I appreciate it very, very much. James Hamby from Saudi Daisy. What's going on, James? Let's see. Steve Moody from Hawaii. What? We got Hawaii in the house. Hey, we're reaching to Hawaii. That is awesome. I'm jealous, but that's awesome. I love Hawaii. I'd love to go to Hawaii. right now. Put me on a boat or a plane, send me over. I'd be all right with it, Steve. But welcome. Are you vacating in Hawaii or you live in Hawaii? Is there crappie in Hawaii? That's a question. Steve, is there crappie in Hawaii in some pond somewhere? Tom A from Pennsylvania, what's going on? Just fishing thinking. Hello from Cherryville, North Carolina. What's going on? Ashley Coffee, what's up, Matt? Good evening, Wired fam. Hello, all from Beaver Creek, Ohio. Todd Pell, what's going on? Mike Morrison, what's going on, Mike? Hello, Wired fam from Clarks Hill Lake, South Carolina. Big Kid, what's going on? Paul Blum, hello, what's going on? Let's see. Teresa Eccles, Arkansas, hello. Johnny Coots from Ringgold, Georgia, what's going on? Ron Hall from Mississippi. Kim Mayer from Clintonville, Wisconsin, what's going on? I'm squinting again tonight, guys, because I don't have my glasses, so I'm squinting to see you guys. Need a pair of binoculars. That's why I'm leaning forward. Need a pair of binoculars so that I can see better. Figure out how to blow this screen up would be helpful. The zoom. All right. Lamar from Alabama, what's going on? Matthew Walters from Mississippi, hello. 217 Rebel Outdoors, what's going on? Dog Talk, where's that 217 at? Right there's 217. Dog Talk from Montana. Dog Talk's in Montana tonight. What's going on? Pleasant Hill, Missouri from Mr. David Taylor, hello. West Point Lake, I've heard good things about West Point. West Point has got some giants in it, from what I understand. Danny, I'd love to get down and fish West Point. There's no doubt about it. I've heard good things about that lake. I'm sure you probably know. You might be keeping that a secret, though. Josh Sanders said, wife planned this trip, coming home tomorrow. That's funny. Hey, got to keep mama happy. Robert Johnson, hello from Southeast Arkansas. What's going on? Steve Moody said, vacationing in Hawaii. Well, enjoy your vacation, Steve. Thank you for being here on your vacation, man. I appreciate it. Most people go on vacation and they try to forget everything that goes on at home. So thank you for being here while you're on vacation, Steve. I appreciate it. Steve Webb from Central Texas. What's going on? Joe Nichols, Scott Winkler, excuse me. I said that wrong. We should just stick to first names. Let's see. All right. Joe Nichols from Sail Creek. I think I said hello to you, Joe. Just fishing thinking. What length rod do you use to cast on the brush piles? I use a 6.5 footer to cast in the brush. It's a very good question. So all of my brush rods are 6.5 foot ACC crappie sticks with a Fluger Tryon size 25 reel and bonehead tackle 12-pound braid. Okay, that's my setup for brush piles. All right, real quick, two things, guys. I want everybody to keep in mind that we are live. Okay, this is a live feed, and it is a live feed for anyone and everyone. Okay, so just want to keep that on everybody's mind. From time to time, there are, for lack of better terms, how do you say this nice? Stupid people. Sometimes they're stupid people. All right, so keep in mind, if you see anything on this live or you see anything on this feed, I do have moderators, and moderators are trying to catch everything before it hits any kind of screen for you guys. But I do have, from time to time, some stupid people. All right. So if you see anything like that, please ignore it. Please move on and don't draw attention to it. Don't comment on it. That just eggs things on. So if you see anything like that, and I don't know if y'all saw that tonight or not, but if you do, first of all, I apologize. It's a live feed. It happens. Second of all, we're just going to ignore it and keep going, right? So we're here to talk crappie fishing. Okay, so let's see, where am I at? All right. And the second thing, actually, I did not get to fish this past weekend. As a matter of fact, I'll be right back. Don't leave. I got 75 on right now. Don't leave. I'll be right back. I want 75 when I get back. I'll be back 2 seconds. Don't leave me, guys. I'll be right back. I ain't going far. Promise. All right, I'm back, guys. I want to take a minute before we get started. And I want to introduce you guys to somebody special. Oh, I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Branson Thomas Little Wired. What do you guys think? Say hi, Mr. Little Wired. Yeah. Say I'm sheeping. I'm a sheep. Yeah. What do you guys think? Oh, him so little. Him so little. So, for those that were asking, Mama's doing good. Okay. He was born Friday at 5 pounds, 15 ounces. This is why I did not get to fish this weekend, which is okay. 5 pounds, 15 ounces, 19 inches long. He's a very, very healthy baby. And guys, let me tell you something. Oh, him's not happy. Him's not happy. Okay. All right. It's okay. To say I'm proud of my wife is an understatement. She had this baby without even a Tylenol. She wanted to do it natural. She wanted a natural baby, healthy baby, and she did that without even a Tylenol, guys. Okay? Oh, him's not happy. All right. So I wanted to take a minute and introduce you to Lil Wired. Lil Wired is here. Say hello. Can you say hello? Say no. Say I'm going sheepy. Oh, yeah. This is the next little fishing buddy right here, guys. This is the next little fishing buddy. Yeah. Yeah. So Heidi, to answer your question and everyone else's question, he is here. He is healthy. He's got 10 fingers, 10 toes. Yeah. You're going to wake up and say, huh? You're going to wake up? No. Mm-hmm. You don't have to. And to say I'm proud isn't even close to it. All right. So I love my wife, who is probably watching right now. Honey, I love you to death. You did a great job. Oh, yes. And we're as happy as can be. So, yeah, that's a good boy, isn't it? Say, I need a fishing license. Say, I need a fishing license. All right, we're going to get him back up to Mama, and we'll be right back, okay? Be right back with you guys. Tell him bye. Tell him bye. Say, God bless. Say, see ya. Oh, he waved. All right, be right back. Yeah, I know. All right. I'm a daddy again. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, there's nothing any more special than getting to hold that little baby for the first time. And that's probably our last one. We've got 3 now. So that's probably our last one. But who knows? Who knows? It's infectious. They are, those little devils. So we'll see. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Thank everybody for the thoughts, the prayers, the baby gifts that we received, the just the love from you guys all the way around. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, it was a very good birth. Our previous 2 children, the labor was like 18 hours long. This labor only lasted about 7 hours. So it was less than half of what my wife has been accustomed to. And it went very quick, really, honestly. It really did. It went extremely quick. I can't say it wasn't painful for me, but I'm sure my wife, if I told y'all it wasn't painful, she'd come down here and smack me in the head. But very quick birth as far as we're concerned, and just flawless. He's healthy as anything. He's passed every test they've given him, and everything shows that he's a healthy little boy. So thank you all for the prayers. Thank everyone for the thoughts, and we couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. So uh, he's a blessing, and we're blessed to have him. So that chapter is just beginning, but also finished because he's here. So now I get to teach another son how to fish, right? I get to teach another, you guys have seen my 6-year-old who is eat up with crappie fishing. I mean, he's catching fish on his own now. He can take a rod and stand up on the front of the boat beside me and catch fish right beside me. I mean, 1-on-1. So he is getting good. He's going to be good. There's no doubt about it. He's probably going to outfish me a lot. So he's very good with the rod and reel, and you know, I enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching my boys. I can't wait to teach him. He's got a lifetime license coming very shortly, so very excited about that. I need to be probably scrolling down through comments here. I have not updated. Steve said, "Smash that like button. Good info. Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up." Joe Nichols has a question. I will come back to that, Joe. I promise you. There's my beautiful wife right there. There's Laura, guys. Hello, Wired fam, she says. Wow, congrats. What a little darling. Congratulations. Love. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. Congrats. That's awesome. Congrats. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Tom A said, "Love the middle name." Yeah, that's actually my middle name. So he got my middle name on that one, Tom. So we share that. Yeah, Laura said, "First time in Daddy's boat." That's right. That was his first time in the boat, guys. I have not had him in the boat yet. So that was actually that was his first time in the shop. He's been upstairs since he came home. So that was his first trip to the shop, first trip to the boat. So you guys got to see that firsthand. He lasted all of about 30 seconds before he started crying. That's like what kids do. You know, they have an attention span about that long. So, you know, but that's first trip to my boat. That's right. He's already figuring out how to outfish daddy. That's my 6-year-old is. There ain't no doubt about that. He is absolutely doing it. So congratulations. Wish mine were still that little. Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I'm a sucker for babies. So there's no doubt about it. Josh Sanders, put this towards the lifetime sportsman's license. Congrats, man. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. I will do that. I am going to get him a lifetime sportsman's license. So in Tennessee, guys, you can purchase a lifetime license for a child under the age of 2, and it's pennies. I mean, I think they raised it. Since my last child, they raised it. I think with my last son, with Brantley, it was $200, and he never has to buy a hunting and fishing license again in his life. I mean, why would you not do that, right? I mean, I threw $200 at it thinking if he doesn't fish, then I've only lost $200 over the entirety of his life. I mean, really? So absolutely. He will have a lifetime fishing and hunting license in the state of Tennessee. There's no doubt about it. And the beautiful thing about those lifetime licenses, guys, is in the state of Tennessee, if your kids move out of the state of Tennessee, they can still come back to Tennessee as a non-resident and use that lifetime hunting and fishing license as well. So if they lived in Tennessee and bought that license when you lived in Tennessee, if you move out of Tennessee, those kids can come back and actually hunt and fish in Tennessee with that lifetime license. It still is good. So thank you, Josh. I appreciate it very much. I will put that towards his lifetime license, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Steve Moody, thanks for the discount on the fishing specialties poll. Thank you for the super chat, Steve. I appreciate it. And you're very welcome on the discount. I'm glad. That's something that I ask my sponsors to do for you guys. The pro staff that I'm a part of, I ask them for a discount code for you guys to use so that you guys can take advantage of that, save yourself some money. I like supporting good products. I like talking about showing you guys good products and pushing good products. But I don't just want to push them and tell you they're good. I want you guys to be able to realize some kind of benefit from that as well. So again, I asked them to give that discount code to the channel for you guys, and they gladly do so because they're great companies, great people, and they too want to be a part of what we're doing. So you're very welcome for the discount. I'm glad you saved yourself some money. And thank you so much, Steve, for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. Tom A, offer a lifetime license for kids. Wish Pennsylvania did that. Thank you, buddy. I'll put that towards his lifetime license. Thank you very much. For sure. So Pennsylvania doesn't do it. They should. Now, like I said, I think they raised it in Tennessee. I don't think it's 200 anymore. I think they did raise it up some. I think it may be 3 or 350 now. I can't remember what they raised it to, but I know they did raise it a little bit, but it's worth it. I mean, a sportsman's license, a 1-year sportsman's license to fish, bow hunt, rifle hunt, muzzleloader hunt, and your trout stamp and your dove stamp and all that good stuff. A sportsman's license, which covers all that, is like $156 a year. So if I bought my 6-year-old Brantley, I bought him his lifetime license for $200. That's like a year and a third, and he never has to buy a license again in his life. That's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a no-brainer. So thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it. Pennsylvania should look at doing something like that. But again, I'm sure Tennessee does lose some license sales from it. But from my understanding, the lifetime license money in Tennessee gets allocated different than the hunting license money does. So it's not really affecting what comes in from hunting license. I'm sure at some point in the future it might, but they got to figure it out for somehow, some way. So anyway, Johnny Coots. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. I will put that towards his lifetime license. Larry Merrick, thank you for the super sticker, buddy. I appreciate it. Like I said, everything that comes in tonight, guys, I'll put towards Branson's lifetime license. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. We are gonna get him hooked up with a lifetime hunting and fishing license. Actually, it's funny because I mentioned to one of the nurses in the hospital. It was the birth certificate lady. She came in. She was telling us about the birth certificate and stuff. And I said, so that's a temporary one. Where do we get the real one? And she told us. And I said, okay, it's no big deal. We'll do that. And then she said, I told her, I said, I gotta have that. I gotta have that now. And she said, okay. I said, I gotta get his lifetime license and I gotta have that to get it. So I need that. I need to know where to get that at. It was pretty funny. She looked at me like a deer in the headlights and she's like, okay. She's like, well, can you use the temporary one? I was like, nah, it's not that important. I got 2 years, but I want to get it now. I'm like, I'm chomping at the bit to go get it. So uh anyway, it's pretty funny. It's comical. But thank you very much, Larry. Thank you, Johnny, Tom, Josh. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody that gave super chat tonight. Let's see. I know I missed a question up here. Let's see. Matt, how crucial is jig head color? I normally use bare lead. Just wondering if it would increase my catch. Very good question, Joe. Very good question. So, bare lead is a color. Silver. Silver's a color. Most shad are silver, right? So, in my opinion, silver is a color, and going to a chartreuse head or red head or a pink head or a green head or a black head. At times, I have seen where a head color makes a difference. Okay. There's been tournaments where me and my fishing partner standing on the deck, fishing side by side, fishing in the same brush pile. I've got an orange head. He's got a chartreuse head. I'm catching fish and he's not, using the same bait. Could it be the head? Could it be the way you're working the jig? Could it be, there's a lot of different things that it could be, right? I could work the jig different than him. I'm using a Fluger Tryon. He's using a Fluger President. All his rods have a Fluger President reel on them. Okay. The gear ratio on a Fluger President is not the same gear ratio as a Fluger Tryon. So could it be that because the gear ratios are different, my jig's moving slower or faster? Could I be reeling faster, reeling slower? There's a blue million things that could really be driving that jig head color. But I do know that I have seen a lot of times where jig head color makes a difference. So, mix it up a little bit. If you're not getting bit on a unpainted head, throw a chartreuse head on and see if it makes a difference. Throw a red head on, a pink head, an orange head, a green head, whatever. Mix it up a little bit. Like I always tell everybody, I'm a tournament fisherman, right? And I've shown you guys before. If you look at my wall back here, my pegboard, which still isn't done yet, but you look at my pegboard, I've got all kinds of different baits. Now, my go-to section is right here. That's my go-to section, right? As you can tell, I've got more of that than anything else. But over here on this side, I've got crappie magnets. I've got Charlie Brewer sliders. I've got Jiffy jigs. I've got bass assassins, panfish assassins. I've got flies. I've got hair jigs. I've got all kinds of stuff over there. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm still a crappie fisherman or tournament fisherman, and I want that variation of bait. I want that variation in colors, and I want that variation. So, it's going to benefit you to have multiple colors of jig head, not just unpainted, but it will help you in certain times, in certain instances. It can make a difference, I believe. Okay. Sometimes just having that, say, orange head, to where those fish are sitting there and they're just kind of lethargic and they're not really wanting to move, and you're in cleaner water and this orange thing starts falling and it catches their attention. That bright orange, that little bit of bright orange catches their attention, and they look, and then they see your jig and they hit it. Sometimes that can make a difference. Okay. All right, let me go down here and try to find where I left off. So I went back up. There's a good one. Cherish them as they grow up too fast. They really do. They really do. I'm not looking forward to him growing up, but they do grow up. They grow up extremely fast. So we'll see. Sportsman's Paradise. Hello, crappie anglers, and congratulations, Matt, to you and the little lady. One beautiful bundle of joy from Greg in Shreveport, Louisiana. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. He is special. That's for sure. All of my kids are special. He's just the new special, right? They're all special. He's the new special. He is absolutely a blessing. And I guess I never really understood how much you could, I mean, outside of my wife, how much you could love something, right? I love those kids. Um, he's special for sure, and I absolutely love little babies. So I'm like a kid in a candy store, I'm like, ooh, let me see you, come here. He's like this big. It's just something special about a new baby, right? So anyway, now I sound weird, so I'm gonna move on. All right, blessing a healthy child. Yeah, he is healthy. He really is. I'm very, 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 very. We are very, very blessed that he was healthy. So um, we had, like I said, I think I've told this story before, but my 6-year-old, when he was 2, well, close to 2, had Kawasaki's, and then he also had some liver issues or kidney issues when he was born. So we've been through kids that have some stuff going on, right? And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. When you feel helpless when your kids are sick and there's nothing you can do, and you've got doctors that really not don't know, but can't explain a lot of things, and it makes it for a really long, exhausting road. So for him to be healthy as he is, we're just counting our blessings, and we're thanking the Lord that he's healthy. He's in a good place and he's healthy. So hopefully everything stay that way and we'll be good to go. That was certainly worth the wait. He was worth the wait. Congratulations to you and your family. Be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it, buddy. There's Miss Heidi. Laura, you have a beautiful baby. I am happy for you and Matt. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate it very much. Like I said, Heidi always asks how Laura was. So thank you, Heidi, for that every week. I know my wife looked forward to that. She said, I bet Heidi's on tonight. Bet she asks how I'm doing. I'm like, yes, I bet she is. And I bet she will. So it has been a very awaited thing to get on, Heidi, and see your comment and know that we have people thinking about us, and that's everybody, not just Heidi, but it was kind of a staple for us, I guess. Every Wednesday night, Heidi's going to ask how you're doing, and it's really cool for everybody on here to get on and ask how the wired baby is and ask about him, and now he's here, and thank y'all very much again. I appreciate it. Byron, what gear ratio do you prefer on your spinning reels for jigs? Congrats on your baby boy. Thank you very much. Again, a Fluger Tryon. The gear ratio on this is 5.2 to 1. Okay. 5.2 to 1 is the gear ratio on a Fluger Tryon. That is what I prefer. Okay. 5.2 to 1 is what I prefer. I don't want something that's going to be too fast, but I also don't want something that's going to be too slow. And a lot of times, if you're in the boat with somebody, okay, and they're catching fish and you're not, and you're trying to match the speed that they're swimming a jig, if you're swimming jigs through brush or just swimming jigs to open water fish, whatever you're trying to do, always check their gear ratio, okay, against yours. So if your gear ratio is faster than theirs, and you're trying to reel at the same speed as them, then your jig's moving faster. All right. So maybe you need to reel slower than they do, but 5.2 to 1 is what I prefer. That is what the Fluger Tryon is, and that's the reel that I prefer. That's the size 25. Okay. 25 is a little hard to find. Glenn's Army Navy store is where I get mine. Okay, if you go online and Google Glenn's Army Navy store, you could get the Fluker Try-On from them. They've got them in stock, and they generally have them by the dozens, because when I call an order, I generally order a dozen, and they have them. So they've got them by the dozens. I don't know about now. I hadn't ordered any this year, but they generally have Fluker Try-On size 25s. Glenn's Army Navy store. Okay. Let's see. David, what line do you use? I like 4-pound test in winter, Mr. Crappie. I do not use Mr. Crappie line because it has way too much memory. I use a 4-pound Vicious, which I have right over here on my wall. That is what I use, a 4-pound Vicious high vis. That is a 3,000 yard spool that you can get for $7. It is cheaper than Mr. Crappie, and it doesn't have as much memory as Mr. Crappie. Okay. It is in my opinion, it is a better line than Mr. Crappie, no doubt about it. 100%, hands down. 200% actually, hands down. Vicious 4-pound test over Mr. Crappie, just because Mr. Crappie is so rigid. The line diameter is smaller on Vicious 4-pound. Mr. Crappie 4-pound is more like 6. I mean, it is a little stouter, and that's why it has a lot more memory, and it also just doesn't really cast very well, and some other things with it. I try not to badmouth any products, but I will tell you my honest opinion about products. I just, Mr. Crappie line is stiff and rigid, and for that reason, I don't like it. Just because it doesn't cast very well, doesn't shoot very well. Over time, I prefer the Vicious to it, but that's what I use. Oops. Congrats to the Wired fam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tyrone Brown. Hey, Matt, just joined a fishing club that has monthly fishing tournaments. Do you have any tips for first-time tourney anglers? Yeah, absolutely. So for first-time tournament anglers, let me get my Mountain Dew out. All right, for first-time tournament anglers, my advice, first thing I would say is pay attention. Pay attention to everything. Pay attention to, where people are going, what direction they're going. Pay attention to, where anglers are fishing at certain times a year. Pay attention to, the guys that are finishing in the top of the leaderboard. And then don't stop participating. The more you participate, the more you're out there, the more you're on the water, the better you're going to become. Okay. Also, put in the time on the water. A lot of your tournament anglers that are successful tournament anglers that are winning tournaments out there, guys, are putting the time in on the water, not fishing, but looking, learning the lake, looking, driving around, spending gas, burning gas, spending money. But they're putting the time in to learn the body of water. So if you're on the lake 8 hours, spend 4 hours looking and 4 hours fishing. That's a good rule of thumb. Spend time behind your wheel and behind your graphs, looking for brush, looking for fish, looking for, creek channels. Know your lake. Get to know your lake. That's the biggest thing I can say is spend time on the water. The more time you spend on the water, the better off you're going to be. the more spots you have available to fish, the better off you're going to be. There's a lot of tournaments out there that are won by the guy that has the most brush piles, the guy that can fish the most brush piles in a day. A lot of times, or docks or spots, let's say spots. The guy that can fish the most spots in a day, a lot of times wins the tournament because you have an opportunity to present your bait to that many more fish and that many more big fish, right? So a brush pile may only hold 2 big fish, but the next one may hold 1, and the next one may hold 1, and the next one may hold 1. And then by the time you know it, you fished 45 spots and you've culled 20 different fish, and you're up there in that 12, 13, 14 pound range. Um, Having those spots available to you is very, very important. So that would be my advice. Spend time on the water looking for areas, looking for structure, looking for fish. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Let's get into the topic of the night because we've actually hadn't talked about it yet. So why did I decide to talk about winter crappie fishing? Why did I decide to talk? Oh, by the way, before we get into it, we're going to give away some more jigs tonight, guys. We're going to give away another dozen jigs from MCM Tackle. So right there, MCM Tackle, guys. That's custom made tackle on Facebook. You can look them up, MCM Tackle. They make custom hair jigs. It's some of their jigs right there for you guys to win. We're going to give away another dozen. So we'll draw 2 names at the end of the night, and each angler will get half a dozen jigs. You have to contact them via Facebook or email, and they will hook you up with half a dozen jigs. Guys, if you win a half a dozen jigs, call them, get you half dozen, and order more. They're already shipping it to you. They're already paying for your shipping. Go ahead and order some more jigs, okay? Pick you out 6 or 8 different colors and get through 4 of each. You know what I mean? Help them out. They're a small company. They're trying to get started, but they've got great jigs. They really do. I've fished with them for, I don't know, several months now, since back early summer, and they are great jigs. They really are. They hold up great. You catch plenty of fish on them. You'll break them off on a brush pile before you break them off on a fish or break a jig. So they're really, really high quality stuff, and they've got great colors. So anyway, we're going to give some of those away. But the reason I wanted to talk about winter crappie fishing is because I seen a post on Facebook the other day, and it was a guy that said, I don't know if Chris is on here. I hadn't seen Chris on here tonight, but asleep on here. But it was a guy that put on Facebook, and he said, when do the crappie start moving shallow in the winter? When do the crappie move back and get shallow? And there was a guy that commented to his post and said, basically told him, you're wrong. Crappie don't go shallow. They move out deep in the winter on flats. And I commented on it and said, well, you're both right. So let's not argue about it, because really you're both right. Okay. And I never heard anything back from either one of them. But, so with that post and with, that kind of controversy of, well, which one is it? Do they go shallow or they go deep? I thought, well, let's talk about it. Okay. Let's talk about what crappie do come fall through winter. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you have any questions about it, please go ahead and ask them, and I will answer your questions as we go through here. Okay. Dakota Garrison wanted to know if I ever fish Hiwassee. I do fish Hiwassee some on Chickamauga. Yeah. Let's see. Have you noticed any difference in using jig heads with eyes on them? No. Holographic type of eyes rather than painted. No, I hadn't noticed any difference, to be honest with you. Anyone that uses 4 pound, uses braid 4 pounds, had the cold weather or the temperature of the water, simply braid, it would snap on hook set. Cost me big crappie. Wow. I hadn't had any braid snap on hook set, and I fished a tournament last year on Cherokee where the eyes of the rod were freezing up when we were reeling in. The eyes of the rod were freezing up, and we could not get the line through the eyes. And I didn't have any issues with braid that day. No. David, could you talk a minute about the power action of the rods? I'm fairly new to crappie fishing and want to pick up a couple of new ones. I see medium fast, ultra light, etc. Suggestions. Yeah, we can talk about it real quick. So hang on, I'm going to come down here with you guys while I talk about it, okay? Just Fishing asked about Vicious line for $7. Vicious is at Rural King. You can get it offline at Rural King, 3,004 pound for $5.99. So there you go. And he said, "Thanks, Tom." Cool. All right. So real quick, talk about action of rods. Okay. So David, what do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want to do with your rod? Are you wanting to shoot docks? Are you wanting to just fish brush? Are you wanting to fish open water crappie? What do you want to do with it? So take an ACC crappie sticks. Okay. This is a 6.5 footer. All right. And it is a medium fast. Can you guys see? Where's it at? Wrong way. Medium fast right here. Okay. Right there. Medium fast. So what is a medium fast rod? Okay. It's a medium backbone. All right. What is fast? Fast is the tip. The tip of this rod, what it means by fast is it's going to rebound quickly. It's going to have a very, very fast tip, which is going to rebound quickly. So let's say you're twitching that, you're trying to twitch that jig, you're going to get that where that rod tip, it's not going to be flimsy and just bounce around, okay? When you go to twitch that jig, that rod tip's going to, and then right back. You're not going to get a whole lot of, okay? It's very fast. It's very fast to get back to stable, back to place. It's going to be very fast, okay? So anytime you see like a medium or medium light, it's going to be a very light tip where you're going to get that on the tip, all right? So a medium fast is what you want if you're going to shoot docks. Now, this is a 6.5 footer, okay? It's a medium fast. That's what I like to fish brush with. I prefer a medium fast rod. I prefer a fast tip because I like that tip to have that quick rebound to it, okay? I like it to rebound. When I make a cast, I don't want it sitting there bouncing. When I set the hook, I don't want it sitting there. When I set that hook, I want plenty of rod or tip strength where I can bury that hook in the roof of that fish's mouth. Okay, probably have a paper mouth. We all know that. But if I'm fishing with mono, okay, and there's a lot of stretch in the line, or let's say nowadays with live scope, you make that long cast out there at 35, 40 feet, you've got to put it on them. Okay, you've got to put it on them to get that hook, that good hook set. So I like to have a good fast tip. That's me personally. So a medium fast fits me great. All right, for crappie fishing. That's what I would go with if it were me, is a medium fast. Again, ACC crappie sticks, all of their rods are medium fast. Their 6.5 is a medium fast. Their 6 footers a medium fast. You're going to get medium fast out of ACC. That's pretty much all they do is a medium fast. So no issues there at all. But those medium lights and things of that nature, if you're fishing brush, I'd stay away from a medium light. There's just not enough oomph in the tip. Medium light is more along the lines of like a bluegill rod or a shellcracker rod or something that you want to just go out there and feel like those little panfish or big fish. That's what that light tip is going to do for you. I don't see a need for it in crappie fishing. And an ultralight or a light fast or a light medium, the light backbone, okay, let's talk about backbone for a minute. The light backbone, if you're going to shoot docks or you ever have a need or want to shoot docks, you're not going to be able to bow that rod back and get a good strong shot with it. It's not going to rebound. It's not going to sling that jig. It's not going to act like a slingshot because it's too whippy. If you get a rod that's real whippy, okay, you get a rod that you can sit there and shake like this and it looks like a daggum rope, I mean, you can shake this one right here and you can see it's got some wiggle to it. Of course, it got a reel on it too, so it kind of makes that a little bit worse. But if you take a rod and you shake it, it looks like a rope, just a limp rope. You're not going to get a very long shot out of that rod because it just doesn't have the backbone to support that. Boom, that's just sling that jig up underneath that dock. Okay, so again, I like a good. I don't want a heavy. Okay, I don't want a heavy backbone. I like a medium. I don't want a light or an ultra light because again, that's more of a trout rod or a bluegill rod or shell cracker rod. You know, those lights and ultra light backbones. I want something that, you know, because you're catching. There's a lot of 2-pound crappie plus, right? So you need something that's got a good backbone to it. I would stick with medium. Okay, for those bigger fish. Fishing a 32nd ounce jig head, what size hook do you prefer? I prefer a number 2. A number 2 hook is what I prefer. That seems to fit a bonehead stump bug perfect. Fits a crappie magnet perfect. Fits pretty much any jig perfect. The number 2 hook that I've used, you know, it really fits a 2-inch jig really well. So, or an 1 3/4 jig really well. So, I like a number 2. All right, so again, winter crappie, going back to the post that I saw, one guy says, you know, when do the fish start going shallow? One guy posts on it and says they don't. You know what I'm talking about? They go deep. Who's right? Right? Which one's right? Well, I already gave it away because I told you they're both right. Okay, so look, here's what's going to happen. During the summer months, those fish get just beat up. Okay, and by beat up, I don't mean fishing pressure. They get beat up by the elements. Okay, guys. So the heat and the water temperature is going to wear those fish out. Those fish are going to get wore out from the heat, and they are going to take advantage of the cooler temperatures, the fall temperatures that move in. Once the water temps start dropping, they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to start feeding. Okay, so you're going to have this big feed that happens in the fall, just like the spawn in the spring. Those fish are going to move shallow. Those fish are going to move up. They're going to follow bait. Once that temperature starts dropping, the bait's going to start pushing back in the creeks. Once the bait starts pushing back in the creeks, those fish are going to follow the bait. That's what they do. That's just like us. If somebody said, hey, the lunch truck today at the job site, he's not going to be sitting over in that corner at 12 o'clock. He's going to crank up and he's going to drive his truck and he's going to go around. He's going to sit in this corner, right? Everybody on that job site is going to follow that lunch truck because if that's all they got to eat, they hungry. They hungry. They got to eat, all right? So they're going to go over to that corner to eat because he ain't sitting over here no more. He's got tacos, and his tacos is over there. So everybody's going to go over there to get their food. Crappie are the same way, all right? So when the water temperatures start to cool off in the fall, those fish are going to follow the bait back in the creeks. So that kid or guy, he was younger, I shouldn't say kid, but that gentleman that posted and said, when do the fish move shallow? That's a legitimate question. Somebody should have come back and said, hey, as soon as the water temperatures start falling off, the fish are going to start moving back. All right. So, and they're going to stay back. Now, they're going to stay back in the creeks until you get somewhere around that 50-degree mark. Once you get down there to that 55, 50, it'd be in between 50 and 55 degrees. I'd say probably about 55. Once you get to about 55 degrees and you start dropping down below that, that's when those fish are going to go, nope, I'm out. Peace, deuces, I'm going this way. And those fish are going to start migrating out to those deeper haunts, to those flats, okay, those deep flats, and they're going to start setting up in a winter pattern, a true winter pattern. Now, depending on what part of the country you live in, okay, depends on where those fish are going to set up, okay? So, or when that transition takes place, excuse me. Depending on what part of the country you live, I was reading a comment. Depending on what part of the country you live in is going to depend on when those fish start that migration, okay, when they start heading out. So if you live in Tennessee, Okay. And I like to use Tennessee because we're kind of mid country, right? We're kind of in the middle of the country. We're, Florida and Canada and Tennessee. So we're kind of in the middle. So in Tennessee, you're going to see that transition sometime in December. All right. You're going to see that transition out to those deeper flats from the shallower areas in December because most of the time, now there's exceptions to the rule. Don't kill me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me down when I'm preaching good. There's exceptions to the rule. Okay. Large cold fronts, huge cold fronts. We're in a cold front right now. All right. It's cold. I'm telling you, it's cold. My heater just kicked on. I know you guys probably heard it because now I have heat in the shop. Thank you, Jesus. I have heat in the shop now. So, and I have AC in the shop too. Woo! AC and heat running to the shop. I like it. Anyway, the exceptions to those rules are large cold fronts. You get those big cold fronts that come in for a week and they set on you and it's just god awful cold. Yeah, those fish are going to pull out. They're not going to stay in those shallow areas. Why? Well, first of all, those fish feel that pressure. Those low pressures that come in, just lock those fish up, send them into deeper water. And also, for you guys that are up north, why do they go out in deeper water when it gets cold? Because the shallow water freezes. I mean, come on. I mean, if you were a fish, would you want to sit up there and get froze? So you're going out, right? So it's different in different parts of the country. But for the most part, you're going to see that transition sometime during the year when that water temperature gets to about 55 and starts dipping below that. When it starts dipping below that, you can bet your sweet tail they're going out to those winter staging areas on the flats and there'll be bait there. Okay. Again, they're still following that bait. That bait won't stay up in that shallow water. Why? Because they'll freeze. That bait will freeze. There's shad die-offs here in East Tennessee. We have die-offs. You can sometimes pull in some creeks in the winter and they're just shad everywhere. It looks like the largest school of every bass in the state of Tennessee is in that creek that day, and they're doing nothing but smacking shad with their tail and killing them because they're laying everywhere. And it's part of it. We have shad die-offs all the time. It's not because the lake is bad. It's not because the water's bad. It's because it's cold. So a lot of times those fish move out because they cold, guys. They cold. Now, lakes like Douglas. Let's talk about Douglas for a minute. So Douglas is that everything I've said tonight is typical Douglas Lake to a T. All right. December, January, those fish move out of the shallower areas. They move out into those open water areas and they set. They're stagnant. They're just there. And you can catch a buttload of fish in that during that time in those water depths. Okay. I'm talking 60 foot of water, and you'll catch fish 4 foot under the surface. Anybody tell me why? Anybody want to guess? Why can you catch fish in 4 feet of water sitting over top of 60? What's the deal? Why are they there? Well, because they're moved out to that deeper water for the winter. Why are they in 4 foot? Because they're sunning. They're out there in the sun. Douglas Lake is very clear. It's a very clear water lake. And you can catch an absolute buttload of fish at 4, 5, 6, 7 foot down. Because a lot of times in the winter, when it's sunny, bluebird day, which this was, every day I've been able to do this, it's been bluebird. Bluebird day, sun, those fish, they got a little bit of warmth. They pull up off that 12, 14, 16, 18 foot depth. They get up there in that 4 to 6 foot depth, and you can wear them out in 4 to 6 foot of water with a float and fly because they're sunning. They're pulling up there. They're trying to warm up. Okay. Warmth in the winter is your friend. Your friend. All right. Why do fish in dirty water lakes stay shallow in the winter? Because the dirty water warms up faster. All right. Dirty water absorbs sun and warms up quicker. So if you can find a little bit dirtier water, for you guys that fish a clear water lake, if you can find a little bit dirtier water, chances are you might find fish there. Okay. Because on a nice sunny day, that dirty water is going to warm up quicker. Springs, natural springs, guys, listen. Natural springs in the winter can produce mega schools of fish. All right. I have fished natural springs multiple times with no brush anywhere near them and been able to wear fish out. Again, why is that? Well, a natural spring under the ground that comes up, it's underground, it's a consistent temperature, it never fluctuates, it never changes. In the winter, when the surface temperature of that lake is butt cold, and you've got a natural spring coming up out of the ground that's 65 and the water temp around it is 45, guess what? Now you have a heat source. Those fish will be around there in that warmer water. Okay. So keep things like that in mind. Think outside the box in the winter. It's not necessarily a bad thing. All right. But to those two gentlemen that were commenting back and forth, both of them were right. All right. Those fish are going shallow when that water starts cooling off, but then they will transition out to deeper water as well. Okay. At some point, they will pull off that shallow water stuff and they will go out to a more consistent climate. Okay. More consistent depth that they can get that water temperature that they want that isn't affected as much. We've talked about this before. Deeper water is not affected as much by cold fronts. It's not affected as much by a warm front. It's not affected as much by lightning. It's not affected by as much. Those shallow water areas, crappie don't like lightning. In case you guys didn't know that, they don't. They don't like lightning. It'll put them on the bottom of the lake faster than anything. The deeper water areas aren't affected as much by the climate. Okay. So when those fish pull off and go out to deeper water in the winter, they're trying to do their part to, stabilize their environment. Okay. Again, that shallow water areas, that's why your shallow water fishermen sometimes in the winter come back in tournaments scratching their head going, man, I was on them. I was on them. I was freaking on them. I was catching 2-pounders every cast last weekend. I was catching the crap out of fish. I came back ready to rock and roll. I felt good about this tournament. I knew I was going to do good. What happened? My fish were gone. Why were my fish gone? And it's like, well, we had a cold front come in Wednesday. It really hadn't rebounded yet back to, it was 65 degrees for a week. Now it's 40 degrees since Wednesday with nights in the 30s and cloudy, no sun. Water temperatures dropped 10 degrees. Chances are your fish got knocked in the head, my friend. Those shallow water fish can't sustain that. They feel that more so in that shallow water. They don't feel pressure as much in deeper water either. So those fish are absolutely knocked in the head by pressure changes in the winter. Okay. That is why those guys were both correct and both, I guess, on their own page at the same time. So again, I've told you guys this before. In the summer and dead of winter and summer, I start deep and go shallow. And then in the spring and the fall, I start shallow looking for fish and then go deep, work my way deep. Okay. So that's the way I do it. That is, again, why I love winter fishing, because fish are so predictable in the winter. Okay. You can get out there and absolutely load the boat down because they will school up. There's heat in numbers. Okay. I've told you guys this before. The floating docks are absolute just fish magnets in the winter, because why? The floats are what color? Black. Most all floats on those docks are black, and black soaks up heat, and it just that layer of water directly underneath those floats sometimes is warmer. Heat is a big thing for fish in the winter, just like cool water is in the summer, So everybody says, well, I caught fish on the upper end of Tellico in July, but there weren't any on the lower end. Where were they? Well, what was the water temperatures? Well, it was 75 on the north end And on the south end, it was 82. Well, there you go. Those fish are up there looking for that cooler water in the summer, right? Same thing in the winter. They're looking for that anomaly. They're looking for that little bit of warmer water. If you can find it, you can catch fish, a lot of fish. You know, don't forget the sun. Don't forget, you know, the floats. Don't forget springs. Don't forget a lot of different parts that go into that. So, um, very, 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 very good info, I think, on winter crappie fishing. Don't be afraid to use a fly in the winter. A fly. Heidi says, "Thanks, Matt. Now I want tacos." So that's the last. I want some tacos too, Heidi. Maybe I'll go make some tacos. We'll grab some hamburger out of the freezer and throw some tacos in the skillet. Make some tacos. That'd be funny. Frying tacos at 11 o'clock at night when we get done, or 10:30 when we get done. Whatever time we get done. Anyway, I want some tacos too. That sounds great. All right, Big Kid says, like in Missouri now, what about when the water temperature get into the 50s, low 50s? I think we talked about that. Low 50s. They're going to start transitioning in that lower 50s, Big Kid. They're going to start moving out into that deeper stuff, those flats, those open water flats that are close to a creek channel. Not necessarily the river channel, but the creek channel. They're not necessarily going to hit main lake. They'll still stay in the creeks, but they're going to look for that little bit of deeper water. Okay. Just fishful thinking. So you only use the 8, 10, and 12-foot rods for trolling jigs, crankbaits. So my trolling setup, I use 6s, 8s, 10s, and 12s. So I use 12s on my first rod, and then behind that, I'm going towards the back of the boat. Okay, so 12s, 10s, 8s, and then 6s straight out the back is how I set up my trolling setup. Okay. A lot of times I don't do the 6s straight out the back if I'm by myself, because if I'm by myself, I like to be able to swing fish into the inside of the back of the boat. A lot of times I hook up 2 or 3 fish at the same time. So I'll have rods laying out the back, straight out the back. That's kind of my lay down yard, if you will. So a lot of times I don't run the 6-footers out the back if I'm by myself. But again, 12, 10, 8, and then 6 is how I run. Jeff, Kentucky and Tennessee weather is about the same, I think. It is. Yeah, you guys' weather is about the same as ours. Have a nice night. Head out to night drive with the Manta. All right, Steve. Appreciate you for being here. Be safe. Drive safe, buddy. Mike, Matt, you've mentioned that cold fronts push fish deeper and that red is a good color for deep fish. Is red an automatic color that you go to for deep fish? Very good question. It is. Is it a go-to? No. It's not necessarily a go-to. It's just one of the weapons in the toolbox. All right. It's one of the tools in the toolbox, or one of the weapons in the safe, or whatever you want to say, however you want to say. It's not necessarily a go-to. It's just another choice. I do like red for those deeper fish because for some reason I believe red stands out in deeper water. Those fish will actually react to red in deeper water better than they will other colors. So I do like red, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a go-to. I would say it's just one of the colors that I will utilize if I see those fish deep. Show us a fly you use. Yeah, sure. So this is an MCM tackle hair jig. Okay, this is one of their flies that they tie. It's chartreuse tail. All right, it's marabou tail. Has some flash in it. All right, so there's a little bit of flash in it. Okay, purple and chartreuse again, purple body, and then a chartreuse head. Now I don't know, can you guys see the? Yeah, you guys can see it. See the glitter in the head? I like it. Very, very good jig. Great hook on these two. Absolutely great hook. I really like the hook. Very sharp. I believe it's an eagle claw. I think he told me it was an eagle claw, maybe a mustad. It's one of the two. But that's typical of the hair jigs that I use. I have some other ones as well, but those are kind of my go-tos, I guess. If I'm casting hair jigs, if I'm pulling hair jigs, like if I'm trolling hair jigs, I've got a different style that I use. Those are up there in the box. I'm not going to pull those out right now, but they're a little bit different. The only bad thing about them, and the reason I'm not going to pull them out, is because you can't get them anywhere. Unfortunately, that is a gentleman that we know here locally that unfortunately he doesn't sell to any. I mean, he won't sell to anybody, unfortunately. The only reason we're able to get them is I have a friend that grew up with him and knows him, and I mean he cherishes them. Really, he puts them in his closet, shoe boxes, and he knows where everyone is. It's kind of weird, but anyway, we're able to get those from him, and that's why I'm not gonna show them, because I unfortunately don't know where to tell you guys to go get them. But that MCM tackle hair jig is by far my go-to if I'm gonna cast. If I'm gonna cast brush or fish docks, either one. Tyrone, do you start at the mouth of the creeks and work your way back? In the winter, are you talking winter, Tyrone, or what time of year are we talking? I assume you're talking winter, because that's what we were talking about. So fall, like I said, fall. If I'm still in a fall pattern, I'm going to work my way from back to front, and then once I get into December, January, yes, I'm going to work my way from probably the main channel. I'm probably going to start Main Lake and then work my way into the creeks. So I'm going to start Main Lake and see if I can't find them on some of the Main Lake stuff, Main Lake flats next to the river channel. If I can find some flats next to the river channel, Main Lake, especially with some structure around them, that's probably where I'm going to start in the winter, dead of the winter. Again, December, January, February. Yeah, Tyrone says winter. So, like I said, December, January, February. Probably going to start Main Lake, work my way back, and then in the fall, I'm going to start in the back and work my way out. Jamie, loved the MCM jigs I won, and the extras I ordered. Great guy. They really are. He's a really good guy. Like I said, he's given a lot of jigs away on this channel, a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you who have ordered from him as well. Small company trying to get going, and I appreciate it from everybody. Thank y'all very much. Jeff, are they still pulling water down on Douglas? I mean, be honest with you, Douglas Lake was so bad when I went up there that I stopped looking at it. I was like, you know what? That lake is off. That lake is way off. I mean, we caught fish. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we caught fish that day, but that lake it's a tough bite right now for sure. Very, very, very tough bite. But I don't know. I quit looking at the chart. Do you long line troll in the winter, jigs or crankbaits? Very good question. So that's actually how I cut my teeth crappie fishing. That's what I did. Is long line troll jigs in the winter. Well, not really jigs, hair jigs. Okay. I long line trolled hair jigs tipped with a minnow. All right. I'd put two hair jigs on each rod, about 14 to 18 inches apart. I'd tip the back jig with a minnow, sling it out behind the boat, and I'd troll around. I had a little 14-foot, no, it was a 12-foot. I had a little 12-foot John boat that I would crappie fish out of, and that is how I started crappie fishing. Okay. 2 rods out the back. All I did all day was drive around with a trolling motor and catch fish. I caught a ton of fish, guys. But that's what I did. Spring and winter. I never fished in the summer. I rarely ever fished in the fall. Most everything was in the spring and winter back then, when I really started fishing. I guess for the most part, winter was really when I went mostly. Dead of winter. And I went to Tellico, and there was one bank. There's one stretch of bank that I would fish every time I went to the lake. It was the only one that I could really get to with my boat, and catch fish. So when I first got the boat, all I had was a trolling motor, and then I put a 6-horse Evinrude on it, which pushed it at about a snail's pace. And I'll tell you what. You ever seen two guys in a 12-foot John boat trying to crappie fish? It's comical. It's very comical. And at that time, my buddy that I fished with was rather large, so it was very interesting in a 12-foot John boat. But we caught fish. I mean, we caught all kinds of fish and had a blast doing it. So, yes, to answer your question, I have longline trolled jigs in the winter, and typically I wanted to get those jigs, the flat that we fish most of the time, or really any flat. We wanted to have one rod that was about halfway down in the water column if we were fishing in 16 to 20 feet, which is generally what we fished on flats. And I did it all off maps at that point because I didn't even have a fish finder. So we'd pull up a map, we'd look, we'd say, okay, there's a flat somewhere right in here, and we'd zigzag back and forth across this flat, long line trolling, or what we thought was the flat. And what we thought would be 16 to 20 foot of water. And I'd try to get one rod at 8 foot and one rod at 14 foot. So I wanted to have one rod that was running halfway through the water column, and I wanted one rod that was running a couple feet off the bottom. So I'd pick up those fish on the bottom, and I'd pick up those fish that were sitting in the middle of the water column or close to it. Man, we caught a lot of fish. It was a blast. So Ashley Coffee says they are, but they have finally slowed it down to normal. Drawdown speeds, they are pulling it twice as fast as normal until the last day or so. So there you go. There's your answer. Jeff, he says thanks. They're just ripping that lake. I don't understand what TWRA, or not TWRA, TVA. I don't understand what TVA has against the fishermen, but they got something against us this year. I don't know. It's crazy. They're sucking that bottom, or they're sucking the lake, or the bottom of that lake out. I mean, they're trying to. I think they're trying to suck it dry. To be honest with you, so I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting what they've chosen to do this year. Danny Rock says, "Remember to smash that like button, guys. Please, before you leave, hit that like button. If you hadn't hit it already, subscribe to the channel. If you're not a subscriber to Wired for Crappie, please subscribe. Like I said, we're still running the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm hoping we're going to get there by the end of the year. It's going to be close, I think. If we can get to 10,000, or when we get to 10,000, my goal was to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. But when we get there, I've had a kind of a hiccup. I hadn't had a video out in the last month because of everything. Little Wired, trying to get ready for him, the new house. You guys know, I don't have to explain. But hopefully I'll get some videos out in the coming weeks, and we'll be able to grab some more subscribers and some more traction, some more attention. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing before you leave. I appreciate it very much. If you guys would, share the channel, share what's going on with Wired for Crappie, share the subscription part of YouTube with people so that they understand that, for every subscriber, it's just that much more that YouTube looks at you and your channel to recommend you and your channel and your videos to other people so that they can watch those and subscribe as well. So as you grow, YouTube has an algorithm where they put your stuff in front of people more. The more you grow and the more likes you get and the more subscribers you get and all that good stuff. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing before leaving. Okay? All right, real quick. If anybody has any more questions, please ask those for me real quick. A couple things that are coming up. We'll talk about. Got to get back on the lake first and foremost. We've got to get back on the water, making some videos for you guys. I still have trolling motor batteries that I haven't went and bought because last live, I think it was, that we found one of my trolling motor batteries was leaking acid into the back of my boot. So that wasn't good. Got that all cleaned up after the live last week, and got to go buy some trolling motor batteries. So hadn't done that yet. Got to get some trolling motor batteries and get back on the water. East Tennessee Crappie Club Chickamauga tournament coming up November the 20th. It's a Saturday going out of Wolf Teaver. If you're interested in fishing that, you can contact them. East TN Crappie Club on Facebook. Send a message. The message comes to me. So if you have anything that you want to ask on the tournament for Chickamauga, it's going to be a great event. There'll be a lot of fish caught. It'll be a fun tournament. It's getting colder, and as it gets colder, Chickamauga gets better. Okay, so it'll be a good tournament, good lake. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what else. Guide trips. If you're interested in a guide trip, wiredforcrappie.com. If you're interested in any of the merchandise, hats, shirts, toboggans. Guys, we got beanies. We got the toboggans. Okay. I don't think I can reach it from here, but right over there, Wired for Crappie. Well, let me grab it just so you guys can see. Hey, watch this. This is a fishing channel, right? Let's see if I can get it right. Come here. Oh, hey, that's a net man for you right there. Anybody needs a net man, holla. All right, got the Wired for Crappie beanies, guys, or toboggans, whichever one you call them. Okay, got the Wired for Crappie logo on them, stitched in them, embroidered in them. It is really nice. They're warm. They one size fits all. All right, I got a little head. Fits just fine. I have a hard time finding one that fits my head because my head is a little smaller. So anyway, I don't have a big brain, just a little brain in there. Wired for Crappie beanies, guys. If you're interested in those, wiredforcrappie.com. If you're interested in the guide services, wiredforcrappie.com. If you're interested in a live scope install, I do electronics installs. I also do training trips. If you're looking for somebody to help you with your live scope, train you, teach you how to use your live scope, or your side imaging and down imaging. Okay. If you're looking for somebody to take you out to show you how to run your unit, how to adjust your unit, show you what you're seeing on your unit, how to mark waypoints, and so on and so forth. I do those trips as well. You can look at the price and everything for those on wiredforcrappie.com. Everything Wired for Crappie is on wiredforcrappie.com. It's that easy. Wiredforcrappie.com. Wiredforcrappie.com. So check out the website. You can see everything there, and you can get pricing and all that stuff there too. Let's see. Jeff says, I watch you every week, and you really are very educated with the crappie and pass it on to others. Thank you for that. You're very welcome. That's what my passion is, Jeff. My passion is to teach, and my passion is to grow the sport, and my passion is to help anglers catch more fish. So, that was the whole reason I started East Tennessee Crappie Club 8 years ago, is because I wanted to not only get to know other crappie fishermen, but I also wanted to teach people to be more successful and teach people to catch more fish. And we've stayed true to that within the club the entire time that the club's been in existence. We've had people come to us that couldn't catch crappie, and by the time they fished with us for 6 or 8 months, they catch them just as good as anybody else. So we pride ourselves in that. I pride myself in being very educational, and hopefully that somebody, anybody, or everybody picks up a little something from the channel and is able to put that into their fishing and be more successful. That's the whole point. So I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you watching every week, and many more weeks to come, buddy. Many more. Do you use a depth chart to long line double 16th ounce jig setup? No, I do not use a depth chart. I use a decent cast out the back, or a solid cast out of the back of the boat, and then anywhere from 0.8 to 1.1, 1 mile an hour, 1.1 mile an hour, somewhere right around there, is generally what I do with a 16th. Double 16th with a decent cast out the back of the boat, you're going to run somewhere between 8 and 12 feet. Okay, I know that's a 4-foot variation, but depends on if you're going with the current, against the current, what the wind's doing. I mean, we can really get technical. Your rod tip up in the air, your rod tip down in the water. I mean, we can get technical about it, but it's generally you're within that 4-foot range of 2/16, 8 to 12 feet. All right, let's give away some jigs. So all right, first question of the night for half a dozen MCM tackle jigs. I'm gonna let you guys guess, because I'm not gonna give you this one. I'm gonna let you guess. How should I do this? Well, first of all, who can tell me? Hang on, Larry's got a comment here. Care to guess what's going to win on Chick? Not really. I think 8.5 pounds. I think if somebody finds 8.5 pounds, they'll win it. I don't think that lake can produce any more than that right now. That lake's been down for the last year, and as far as weight, there's more fish in that lake per capita than anywhere in the country, I think. But I just don't think it's going to produce. I don't think it's going to produce a good weight. I think it's going to be probably 8.5 pounds if we're lucky. Yeah, that'd be my guess. All right, so question. I got it. Question for half a dozen MCM tackle jigs. Who can tell me what Little Wired weighed when he was born? Who can tell me what he weighed? Anybody remember? First one to guess. I mentioned it. Anybody remember? It's pounds and ounces, guys. Pounds and ounces. Whoa! All right, that was quick. Dog Talk 515. That is right. Yeah, 515. Dog Talk got it. Boy, that was quick. That's the first one I seen pop up. Dog Talk. I need your name if you're okay with that, please. I need a name, Dog Talk. Several people got it. Randy Baird, Chris Jackson. Several people got it. Taylor Thomas got it. Several of you guys. Dog Talk got it first. That's the first one I saw pop up, guys. Remember, mine's probably lagged from yours, okay? Because when you put a comment, it shows up on your screen immediately because you commented. So it shows up on your screen immediately. I have had people contact me and they're like, but on my screen, I was first. And I'm like, I know, because when you put a comment up there, yours shows on your screen automatically. Everybody else's has a lag. So that's the first one that I saw pop up. Dog Talk. Congratulations. Half a dozen jigs to you, sir. All right. The next one's going to be a little bit, Decar. Got you. All right, Decar. Send me, well, that's fine. I've got that. Thank you, buddy. Congratulations. All right. The next one's going to be a little bit of a guessing game. You guys ready for this? This one may take a little while. All right. So who can guess, or who would care to guess what time Lil Wire was born? I don't think I mentioned that. Anybody want to take a stab at what time he was born? I think what I'll do is try to keep an eye out for somebody that gets, let's say if you can get within 10 minutes. First person to get within 10 minutes of when he was born, time-wise. Mike Morrison? No. Dog Talk? No. Oh, somebody got within 15 minutes. I got to find somebody within 10. 10 minutes, guys. You got to be within 10 minutes. Somebody was within 15. Somebody almost got it right off the rip. That's pretty good. Time of first breath. Let's see. I mean, within 15 minutes, I think it's pretty daggum good. But I mean, I said 10. We're going to go 10. That's what I said. All right, stop. Stop. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Stop, guys. I wish my wife was watching. Y'all are going to crap. Hang on. I'm going back. Okay. There it is. All right. All right. Let me go down here. Please don't jump on me. Please don't jump. Stop, guys. Don't dumb it anymore. Somebody got it right on the money. That is hilarious. Jamie Nelson, 7:40. He was born at 7:40 p.m., 7:40 p.m. on the dot. I mean, that is it, 7:40. So congratulations, Jamie. Half a dozen MCM tackle jigs to you. Remember, guys, MCM tackle, okay? MCM tackle on Facebook. All right. And I want you guys to tell him, say, hey, did you know that you spelled your email address wrong? Anybody catch that? Hotmail, quail_farmer@hotmail.com. Okay. MCM tackle. All right. Find them on Facebook. All right. So hit them up on Facebook. Let them know you won half a dozen jigs at Wired for Crappie. I will pass your name along to him, and he'll hook you up. All right, guys. So congratulations to you two, D-Car and Jamie Nelson. I can't believe Jamie hit that on the head. I mean, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So, and to be the first one within 10 minutes of it. I mean, that's pretty cool. Now, if he wouldn't have said 7:40 when he did, Mr. Ty Brown said 7:39 right after him. So he was within a minute of it, which is incredible. But and then Mike Morrison said 7:30, which would have been 10 minutes. So you guys were all around it. But only two people can win, right? So, all right. So that's it for tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. We've been on here for an hour and a half, so we're going to call it a night. We're going to say see you later. And don't forget, next week, live, I will be on the water this weekend as long as everyone still stays well. We'll be on the water this weekend and trying to get some good content for you guys. So I appreciate it very much. Thank y'all so much for everything y'all have done. Thank you for being here through the home build, through Little Wired. Just thank you for being here. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you as always. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. We'll talk about some more crappie fishing, some more crappie stuff. All right. So again, good night. God bless. See you later, guys.